Every day at lunch, my grandmother ate one vegetable that almost nobody in the family wanted to touch. It was green, bumpy, and so bitter that even the smell of it cooking made us run away from the kitchen. It was bitter melon, also called bitter gourd or Karela. As children, we used to ask her the same question again and again. "Grandma, why do you eat that every day? It tastes terrible." She would smile, place a small spoonful beside her lentils and roti and say, "Because not everything that helps you has to taste sweet." At that time we laughed. But years later I started to understand what she meant. My grandmother did not eat bitter melon because she believed in magic. She did not call it insulin. She did not say it could cure diabetes. She simply believed that lunch should give you energy for the rest of the day, not leave you tired, sleepy, and searching for biscuits 2 hours later. And what happened after she made bitter melon part of her regular lunch routine was not some overnight miracle. It was something quieter, something more realistic. Her afternoons became more steady. She did not complain as often about feeling heavy after lunch. She did not reach for sweet tea and snacks as much. And most importantly, she kept treating her food like part of her health routine, not an afterthought. Today we are going to look at why this bitter vegetable has been used in traditional kitchens for generations, what science actually says about it, and the simple way to add it to lunch without turning it into a harsh juice or a fake miracle cure. The lunch problem nobody talks about. Many people think their afternoon tiredness is just normal. You eat lunch. You feel full. Then an hour or two later your eyes become heavy. Your mind gets slower. You lose motivation. You start looking for tea, coffee, biscuits, sweets, bread, or something salty. And before you know it, your lunch has turned into an entire afternoon of snacking. My grandmother used to say that the problem was not always hunger. Sometimes the problem was the lunch itself. A plate full of white rice, white bread, fried food, sweet drinks, or heavy sauces can taste good in the moment, but it may not keep you satisfied for long. It may leave you feeling sluggish and craving more food later. Her meals were simple. A small portion of roti or rice, some lentils, eggs, fish, yogurt, or chicken, a salad or cooked vegetables, and often a small serving of bitter melon. She never ate huge amounts. She never forced anyone else to eat it. But she believed in putting something bitter, something green, and something real on the plate every day. The vegetable that tastes like a warning sign. Bitter melon does not look like a food that would become popular on social media. It has rough green skin. It has a strong smell. And its taste is so bitter that many people give up after one bite. But that bitterness is exactly why people have been interested in it for centuries. Bitter melon contains natural plant compounds that researchers have studied for possible effects on how the body handles glucose. Some studies suggest it may influence insulin-related signaling or the way glucose is processed, but the evidence in people is still mixed and not strong enough to call it a treatment. That is important. Bitter melon is not insulin. It is not a cure for diabetes. It is not a reason to stop medication. But it may be a useful vegetable to include in a better lunch, especially when it replaces something heavily processed, fried, or sugary. My grandmother never tried to turn bitter melon into medicine. She treated it like food. And that was probably the smartest thing about her routine. What happened when she ate it regularly? The first thing that changed was not dramatic. There were no miracle before and after pictures. No sudden transformation. No, one vegetable fixed everything. Instead, the change happened slowly. She seemed more satisfied after lunch. She was less likely to say, "I need something sweet." She did not sit down in the afternoon and immediately feel like sleeping. And because her lunch included bitter melon with lentils, yogurt, vegetables, and a modest amount of carbohydrates, it gave her a more balanced plate than many people eat today. That is the real lesson. Bitter melon alone was never the answer. The whole lunch was. A healthier meal pattern usually includes plenty of non-starchy vegetables, a source of protein, and a sensible portion of quality carbohydrates such as whole grains, beans, lentils, or starchy vegetables. The American Diabetes Association uses a similar plate approach. Half non-starchy vegetables, 1/4 protein, and 1/4 quality carbohydrates. So bitter melon was not the hero of my grandmother's plate. It was part of the team. The way she cooked it, my grandmother had a very simple method. She would wash one small bitter melon and slice it lengthwise. Then she removed the hard seeds from the center and cut it into thin half moons. Next came the step that made it easier to eat. She sprinkled a little salt over the slices and left them in a bowl for around 10 to 15 minutes. After that, she rinsed the bitter melon and squeezed it gently. This did not remove all the bitterness, but it softened it enough that the rest of us could at least try a few bites. Then she heated a small amount of oil in a pan. First, sliced onion, then garlic, a little turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, a few chopped tomatoes, and finally the bitter melon. She cooked it slowly until it became tender. No deep frying, no sugar, no heavy creamy sauce, no giant glass of bitter melon juice. Just a small cooked portion served as part of lunch. And honestly, that is the best way to think about this food. Not as punishment, not as medicine, not as a challenge. Just as one bitter vegetable that can make your plate better. Why she never drank bitter melon juice. This is where many people go wrong. They hear that bitter melon may support blood sugar, and suddenly they start drinking large glasses of bitter melon juice every morning. They make it extra concentrated. They add nothing else. They force themselves to drink it while holding their nose. But that is not what my grandmother did. She knew something most people forget. Food should fit into life. When you use a vegetable in a real meal, you get the benefit of the vegetable, but you also get protein, fiber, healthy fats, and a more balanced plate around it. A lunch of bitter melon with lentils and yogurt is very different from a concentrated drink taken on an empty stomach. And if you hate it so much that you can only tolerate it as a painful daily ritual, you will probably stop within a week anyway. Consistency always beats extreme habits. The best way to eat bitter melon at lunch. Start with a small amount. Do not begin with a giant bowl. Try 2 or 3 tablespoons beside your normal lunch. Pair it with something that makes the meal feel complete. You can eat bitter melon with lentils and whole wheat roti. You can eat it with eggs and salad. You can serve it beside grilled fish or chicken. You can mix it with onion, tomato, garlic, turmeric, and black pepper. You can add plain yogurt on the side to balance the stronger taste. The goal is not to eat bitter melon every day for the rest of your life. The goal is to build lunches that do not leave you craving sugar by 3 o'clock. That is a much more realistic goal. The part my grandmother understood better than most people. My grandmother did not wait until she felt unwell to care about lunch. She did not think of vegetables as something to eat only after a doctor told her to. She ate them because that was simply how she built her meals. She understood that health is usually not one dramatic decision. It is repeated small choices. A little less fried food. A little more vegetables. A little more protein. A little less sugar. A little more attention to what happens after you eat. And perhaps that is why bitter melon mattered to her. It reminded her that food does not always need to be sweet to be satisfying. Important safety note. Bitter melon is a food, but concentrated juice, extracts, and supplements are not the same as a normal cooked serving. Research on bitter melon and blood sugar is still inconsistent. Some trials have found modest glucose-related effects, while other reviews say the evidence is not strong enough to make firm conclusions. If you use insulin, diabetes tablets, or other glucose-lowering medicines, do not start taking bitter melon capsules or large amounts of bitter melon juice without speaking to your doctor, pharmacist, or diabetes specialist. Bitter melon extracts may contribute to low blood sugar and can also cause digestive side effects such as stomach discomfort, nausea, diarrhea, or dizziness in some people. For most people, a normal cooked food portion is the sensible place to start. Final message. My grandmother ate bitter melon every day, but the real change was not caused by one vegetable alone. It came from the way she built her lunch. She ate vegetables. She included protein. She kept her portions sensible. She did not rely on sugary snacks to survive the afternoon. And she treated food as something that could support her, not something that had to be perfect. Bitter melon is not magic. It will not replace medication. It will not cure diabetes. But it can be one useful part of a healthier lunch routine. So the next time you feel tired, sleepy, or hungry 2 hours after lunch, do not only blame your age. Look at your plate. Maybe it needs more color. Maybe it needs more protein. Maybe it needs fewer processed foods. And maybe it needs one small bitter vegetable that teaches a simple lesson. Not everything good for you has to taste sweet.